Let's talk about how to set up a faith planner as I do a little reset of mine. Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and today I want to do an update or reset of my faith planner, and I thought it would be a great opportunity to talk about some of the elements that I like to include in my faith planner and share those with you. So you're going to get to see my 2025 faith planner in progress and kind of get some tips and tricks on how I keep up with it, but I'm also adding some things in. I used to have 2 faith planners. Now I'm going to have one, and I'm excited to bring you guys along. So let's check out how to create a faith planner. Okay, so I am ready to get set up. This is my new faith planning cover that I have available over in my shop. It is all about the sunrise and sunset and looking in the sky. For me, seeing that time of day, sunrise or sunset, is where I feel very connected. I think the changing colors in the sky, it's just, I feel very connected to God and to my faith. And so that's what I wanted to capture in the cover and the dashboards. And so I want to go to this cover, and I'm wanting to use bigger discs because I'm going to add in some more things into my faith planner. And first I need to transfer. So this is an insert that I created with Patreon members, all about some different things involving prayer and prayer focus. Love this. I'm going to keep this in here for a good long time. And then what I'm wanting to do is to go ahead and transfer things over that I've already been using. Yes, I'm just going to keep them all. I keep my whole faith planner together for the whole year. I'm going to transfer over, but I'm also going to add in these dashboards. A, because they're beautiful, and B, because I haven't always been using the currently page in my planner, and I'm wanting to make sure that even if I don't use currently page, I still have something pretty to look at. So the dashboards go right in behind these particular dividers. These are plastic dividers that I have in my shop, and I love them because you can reuse them over and over and over and over. They're not going to wear out. You can get one set and it's going to last you for a good long while, but you can change out the dashboards to give you a different look. So if you want to change them seasonally, if you want to just give your planner an update, it works really well. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to take all 12 months. I have them over here. I'm going to transfer them over. You all probably don't need to see all that, so I'll just put it on fast forward and show you what it looks like in the end. Okay, so I transferred everything over. It feels thicker than it was, but there is some more room that we're going to add in. Let me just show you some of these blank months just so you can see. This is the basic faith layout. And like I said, this is kind of just for daily notes and reflections, something to keep me accountable as I'm reading each day. It's not necessarily where I put in-depth notes on what I'm studying. And that's where I wanted to add some different sections in here. So I have these dividers. These are plastic dividers, much like the ones I put in, except these have tabs on the top. This was a request from patrons a while ago, and I started creating them, and they're very, very useful. So I'm actually going to use these for some of these different sections. The first one I'm going to put where I'm actually at, like the current study will be on the first tab right here, and I can add labels at the top. Then I want to do a new section, and I think the next section I'm going to do is oh, it's hard to decide. I have 3 more sections I'm wanting to add in. I think we're going to do scripture study. So this is like the daily reading and simple note taking. This is digging a little bit deeper. And these pages, this is a newer release for me, scripture study insert. And the idea is that it provides a place for you to dig deeper into scripture. So this would be maybe not something I'm doing every day. Maybe I'm working on one of these a week. Maybe I'm doing it within the parameters of a Bible study, either a personal devotional like through Illustrated Faith or with a Bible study that I'm working with in a group. You have a place to put the study, put the subject, if you will, Bible verses that you're reflecting on. The idea is that you have a place to write out actual scripture. Writing scripture is something I do on a daily basis, but if you're really studying or memorizing or getting into one specific scripture, you can write it out here. You have some places for reflection. What did you observe? How does this apply to my life? And reflection/prayer. And then some more places for notes and different kinds of notes. So I didn't want to do all lines. Some of us like to take notes on lines. Some of us like to do sketches and do, I don't know, different visual representations. You have, like your bubble chart in your boxes and all kinds of things. It kind of is meant to give you like a study tool. So we're going to do the scripture study next. And like I said, this is going to be for diving in deeper, which I feel like I haven't really had the chance to do. I have been maintaining a daily Bible study, but I haven't had time to go deeper. And that's just been the season of life that I've been in during this transition. And so I'm kind of ready for things to slow down and to get a chance to do that a little bit more. So next up, I want to put, I think I'm going to do faith notes. And faith notes are what I use for sermon notes and sometimes for studies, but more specifically for sermon notes. And I loved doing this at our old church for sermon series, but I will be completely honest, we haven't found a church yet here in Texas. It's really, really hard when you love your church, which I loved the church we were in Virginia. And it's hard to find a new church, and it's hard to, as someone that has been scarred by church experiences in the past and has some, I would say, baggage when it comes to finding a church family, then it can be really intimidating. So we're working on it. But I love keeping notes here from sermons. I love taking notes from sermons on these pages. And so that's going to be something that I also keep in my faith planner. And last, but certainly not least, something that I have very much been missing is prayer journaling. And prayer journaling is something that I was doing on a daily basis. And it's probably been 6 or 7 months since I've done some active prayer journaling. And I can tell it's something I need back in my life. And it's something about writing. I tend to just write letters to God on this page. I have a verse, gratitude, because I think it's important to start your prayer with gratitude. I have them all included on here, but this is, I kind of let it go by the wayside, if I'm being completely honest, and having a place to physically write, something about the act of actually writing it down has an impact on me personally. And so that's too many pages. That's going to be something that's important for me to get back into. And I think prayer journaling is one of the more essential parts of having a faith planner or a faith study system. I think it's pretty important. So whether you're just jotting down your prayers, you can totally use these pages as prayer journaling pages. You're just jotting down a quick prayer. That works really, really well. Maybe you're listing prayer requests over here. If that's what works for you, that's awesome. If you are just using a horizontal layout or just literally lined paper. That works fine too. I like this format because it centers me in scripture, which is really important as I start praying, get my heart in the right place, centers me in gratitude, reminding me to kind of begin my prayer with gratitude before I like just start with a list of all the things I'm asking God about. Like starting in the right place is pretty important to opening my heart and receiving. So I think that's gonna be really important. She thick, you guys. I knew she was gonna be. This is a thick planner. I want to grab my label maker and go ahead and do labels up here and then add a couple more little things. Okay, so let me think. I want to label, first there's a this week, because that's the first tab, the first top tab of where I'm at. So let's print that out. This is my label maker. I love it. It's great. Just cut this and take off the backing. And then that's what I love about these particular dividers is that also you can change out the labels really easily. So if I end up deciding to relabel what these look like, it's not that big a deal. So I had that on right here this week. And then the next section we had was scripture study. So we're going to add that in. I wonder if that will fit. I think I might need to do, let's change the font size to small because I think that is what will fit on here. What do we think? Yes, I think that was the correct way to go. So we're going to trim that out, add this to the top. It kind of bugs me that they're not all the same size, but I think it would have been too big if I'd done it the full size. Scripture study next, right there. Perfect. Then we have sermon notes, or at least that's what I'm using it for. And we'll also do that one. Oops, sermon notes. I call them faith notes, sermon notes, however you want to use it. For me, I'm using them as sermon notes. So that's why I am labeling it in that way. Man, it's hard to get the backing off of these sometimes. Okay, label this section. Perfect. And then we have prayer journal there at the back. And we'll keep, so really the only one that's big is the this week. I wonder if I should change that one so it matches. I think that would probably be nice. So I can easily pop off that label and do another one. Try to center this as much as possible. All right, let's do a new one that says this week and we'll leave it in that small font so that everything matches. So I can pop back over here and I can grab this, pull this one off. Super simple. Add this one back in. And then my labeling is done with my dividers. And I'm pretty excited because I feel like this, yes, it's big and chunky, but I like to grab coffee and do my quiet time in the mornings out on our porch. So I just have to take this out to the porch. Not too bad. I also want to add some fun to it. So I have new charms in my shop, new cross charms that I love. I'm going to take off this part because I don't really need this, but I do want to add this right in here. All you have to do is take this clip and it goes right through the hole in the top right here. And then you have the beautiful charm hanging. And then I kind of thought, I was thinking about adding, is it weird to have all the charms? I don't think it's weird to have all the charms. This is my word of the year, light, that I absolutely love. And then a little extra. Why not have all the charms? You know what I mean? Life's too short. Just have all the charms. So let's add this one on. It does go through. the hole. So now we have all the cute dangly charms. Super fun. The new cover, new dashboards, love, and new sections as well for lots of digging in. I feel like this is a wonderful reset and something that I really need to end out this year strong and start next year. Yes, it's big and chunky, and I cannot wait to dig into it. Thanks for hanging out with me as I kind of reset my faith planner and talked you through why I was using some different sections. What sections do you like to include in your faith planning? What's important to you? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below because I love to hear what people are doing in their faith studies because I find it often inspires me. So be sure to share down below. All of the elements I used today, everything except the actual discs, are available over in my shop at ScrappyWife.com. So be sure to check them out over there. I want to give a huge shout out to my Patreon members. Thank you all for being the wonderful community that you are. If you want to find out more about Patreon and how to join in all of our fun, you can head on over to patreon.com/ScrappyWife. All right. I hope that all of you have an absolutely fabulous day. And as always, keep it creative.